What do you guys think about customers who fish for partial refunds? Well, that's the story I'm going to tell you about after the intro. So without any further ado, let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flippin' Ain't Easy. And as I mentioned in the intro, I'm going to talk to you about this awesome buyer. I'm not going to call him out, not going to do a block party this time because of the way it ended. But it's just another bad buyer that I wanted to tell you about that I alluded to in last week's video. Of course, I'll put the link up somewhere around here if you guys want to check that one out. And yeah, just wanted to talk to you about, again, different kind of buyers. Today, want to talk to you about the fishers, not the Phishing, not that kind of phishing where, you know, you get a link in your email or anything like that. And I don't even know the actual spelling for this kind of phishing. Maybe we'll just use the standard phishing, but it's where they contact you, your buyer, someone who bought an item from you, and yeah, maybe they just don't like the price they paid. Maybe they are that kind of person who will nitpick anything, maybe have higher expectations in their mind than what they actually get from you. And instead of just, you know what, letting it go and moving on and making use of the item, their intent is to contact you in hopes that you will maybe give them some kind of a partial refund. Maybe you will, and sometimes they don't even come out and say it. They just basically, they like to say things like, what would you like to do about this? Or something similar. Or they allude to wanting a partial refund. And sometimes they don't even say really anything like that at all. They just come out and they're hoping your initial response would be to offer them something to get them to go away. And that's exactly why they do it. All that aside, I'm going to share this with you. On the 4th of January, that's the day I dropped that video about bad buyers, I received a message from this particular buyer. And as you can see here, this buyer is not a new eBayer. And the message is, "Hi, got the Nespresso Settees. The unit itself appears to be in good shape. However, there are some problems I'd ask you to address." Okay, there's that what would you like to do about it kind of thing. It goes on to say, "Your listing says this is an open box customer return unit in pre-owned condition. It says while the set is complete and comes in the original retail box, the water tank is cracking. However, while testing, the tank held water just fine. When it got here, the tank was broken into 2 pieces." Now, mind you, they never sent me a photo attachment of this actual problem, but it is possible. But I can tell you, I bubble wrap the heck out of these machines and their accessories, so it would have to be one of those things where the package was just mishandled, like, again, really throwing it off of that 747. Your listing also states, "Please see photos to see the exact unit being sold." Pre-owned condition, exact unit being sold, in quotes, means that espresso glass is included. And your ad says one is included, but there's no espresso glass in your box. Now, for any of you who've bought an espresso machine or any coffee maker, you don't get you don't receive the glass that you pour the coffee in, or in this case, the espresso in. It's not included in any model that I know of, maybe some special edition models, but this particular one, you can't buy brand new with any kind of glass. He goes on to say, "Your listing photos also show the documentation that's included, but there is none in the box. Lastly, pre-owned condition also means that there should be a 12 capsule sampler pack, which was missing." I never in any photos showed this buyer a sampler pack. "I can repair the tank and forgive the missing capsules, but please send espresso glass and the unit's documentation ASAP. Thanks." Now, 175 feedback. We're not dealing with somebody who actually is just new to this whole thing. This person knows what they're doing. They knew there was no Nespresso capsules. Why even bring it up? To say pre-owned condition means that there should be 12 capsule sampler pack included, which was missing. That doesn't even make sense to me. The red flag of all red flags was to state something that was obviously not a part of the listing. There's no actual photo of any sampler pack or coffee pods or anything like that. So I knew that it set off a flag for me that this guy was phishing. But I responded, hello, I went over this listing and cannot find any reference to a glass or sampler pack of Nespresso capsules. I have included a screenshot of the item description, and the listing does not offer those items. I have reached out to eBay and spoke with a representative who was unable to find anything in the listing that would make one believe these items were to be included. I did reach out to eBay because I wanted to get this on record that, you know, this guy might be a problem, and to get their, of course, thankfully I got someone in the United States. I wanted to get this on record when the hit the fan, and I can refer to the reference ID of the conversation that I had with the eBay rep. I do that from time to time when I sense something might be going very wrong. I'll continue here. I see you sell on eBay, and you may be interested in knowing that buyers are not allowed to ask for something that is offered in the sale. I meant to say is not offered in the sale. The use of terms such as complete or pre-owned condition do not imply in any way that additional accessories or items are included in the sale. Furthermore, I did some research on this particular model, and brand new condition, this unit does not include an espresso glass. eBay Terms of Service states that a buyer cannot ask you, the seller, for something that is not included in the sale. They can't make up or change the terms of a listing. The fact that this guy was trying to have me include free coffee that wasn't included in this listing is against eBay's terms of service. Now, one thing I like to do is I like to check on who I am dealing with. Am I dealing with just a buyer, or am I also dealing with a buyer who is also a seller? There's a big difference, because in my book, sellers that buy on eBay, they know better. They should know better, at least. You get me someone who buys on eBay, maybe they're not so in tune with eBay's policies, and therefore they may not actually know this. I mean, common sense would say that no coffee was included with this listing, but they may not know that you can't ask for this after the fact, when really common sense says that you should. But a seller, you know what? You should know that, and you shouldn't do that to other sellers, because another buyer can come right at you and act the same way, and you don't want that kind of thing. So I always do that, and I call them out and let them know, hey, I see you're a seller as well. You know, and usually that tactic works. And then lastly, I go on to say, I packed this unit myself, and I recall placing the documentation in the box, as we would have no reason to keep it here. I do not know what kind of resolution you are seeking in this case. However, I can say with confidence we made not misrepresentations in regard to what was included in the listing. And that's bad grammar on my part. But nonetheless, I don't know what I was doing when I typed that up, but it is what it is. He came back with a message with a screenshot showing that in my item specifics, now this is where you guys got to be careful. In my item specifics, included components, it showed espresso glass was included in that part of the listing. Nowhere else, no photos, no item description, no condition description, just that little part of the listing showed that. And so I was like, okay. And I came back and said, well, please open a return. I'll be glad to accept the return on this on your behalf. And I just wanted to be done with this buyer. They came back and said, that's okay, thanks. That's it. So why were you contacting me? You are a seller on this platform. You are aware that one of your options is to open a return if you're not happy with this. For me, if you are a buyer who is also a seller on this platform, and I've provided you 12 photos in this listing that shows every angle, every accessory that you're getting in this listing, if there is something in the listing that doesn't show in the photos or anywhere else in the listing, wouldn't you reach out to the seller and ask them, hey, I see this is in your listing. Is this correct or not? Am I going to be receiving this or not? And for you to say, this is pre-owned condition, so that means that it includes free coffee. I don't know where the definition of that is. That's just insane to me. Had he not said that, it wouldn't have set off red flags, and I may have sort of handled it in a different way. But at that point, I was very much to the point where I was just done, and I wanted him to return the item and call his bluff. The minute he mentioned that he wanted to fix the tank that had broken, it went from a cracked tank, which I had listed as, to a broken tank. It told me he was willing to keep the item. To me, he was just looking for different things that he can use to get a partial refund. I know that's what it was. Maybe you guys don't agree, but only because he didn't continue being what I call kind of ignorant in the fact that, this was supposed to come with free coffee. He dropped that and kind of let it go, which is totally unexpected on my part. I didn't expect him to react that way. I really thought he was going to press a partial refund. But what do you guys think? It's sort of a strange one here. Was this guy fishing? Or was this guy, I don't know. Put what you think down below. I think he was fishing. I think that maybe he's been successful with it. I think maybe he's done it before. And I think that he found the wrong guy to try to fish with. My take on this, guys, is simply this, is that fishing is going to happen. It's going to be very rare. It's going to be something that isn't done very often. But when it does happen, you got to be prepared on how to handle it. Do me a favor, guys, real fast. Hit that like button. If you enjoy the content that I put out, please consider subscribing to the channel. And while you're at it, hit that notification bell so when I make a new video, which is usually 2 to 3 times a week, and sometimes on weekends go live, you'll be notified as well. Bottom line to me is this. This is how I sort of evaluate this whole situation, okay? Buyer was reaching, as far as I'm concerned. They, I believe, were fishing for a refund. Yes, I made a small mistake, and I call it a small mistake because I did piggyback off of an existing listing like I do in most cases. I did not realize or notice that the previous person who I piggybacked off of the listing had clicked or entered in coffee glass, okay? I certainly wouldn't have left it on there had I known that. That's my mistake, of course. I'm not going to pass that off on anyone. However, the buyer, I think, was really stretching. And you know what? eBay gives the buyer a 30-day return to return your item, okay? And if that buyer would have said, hey, let me just go ahead and return it, I would have been okay. Let's take the return. And I would have taken it as a standard return because of that error that was in the listing of there being in the item specifics where it says a glass was included. But I, in no way, shape, or form, had given any impression that coffee was included in this thing. He did also state to me that he found the manual, he found the booklet. It was in the box. He just didn't check that part of the box. You know, for me, eBay's return policy does work. I know it sucks. I know it really does suck. But sometimes we just got to tell them, hey, go ahead and return the item. And if they're phishing, you're going to call their bluff. And in most cases, they're going to go away, a lot like this guy did. So phishing is just one way that buyers can be very difficult to deal with. But it's just another example of many of how flipping ain't easy. Before I let you go, just a reminder that I have the second episode of the unboxing of that 20 box pallet coming on Friday morning. I'm going to upload that on Friday morning. And tell me down below if that video, episode 1, was entertaining to you. Did you find it interesting? Please let me know. And if there's anything different that you want to see, maybe on some future videos, I'm considering doing another 4-box, actually 20-box episode, 5 per episode, 4 videos in the future. And if that's something you'd like to see. So again, comment down below. I'd certainly appreciate that. Do me a favor, have a great rest of your week, and we will talk to you on Friday on that unboxing video part 2. Till then, take care, everyone.